What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex here, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just a web series we're talking about Transformers 5. This is episode number 46, and in this episode, it's going to be a big one because I got some big and juicy details about the production of Transformers 5, as well as some official information from the man himself, Michael Bay, the director of the last 4 Transformers films, as well as this one that's in production right now, Transformers 5. Now, it's been a long time since we got any official information, but in my previous episode, I did mention that from this point on, we're going to start getting more and more updates occur more frequently because we're getting closer to June. And what's happening in June? The filming of Transformers 5, which is just a little bit over 2 weeks from now. So that is really exciting stuff. And you know, when Michael Bay films Transformers 5, he goes big, he goes hard. You can see his work from a mile away. Heck, you can see his explosions from outer space, okay? Anyways, with regards to the production of Transformers 5, it's been exploding all over social media. If you haven't been following all that stuff, first of all, Isabella Moner just confirmed her appearance in Transformers 5 after she tweeted a video of herself and talking about how she met with Michael Bay for her role in Transformers 5. Next, we have Tyrese Gibson, who's very active on social media. He talks a lot on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and he's been talking about wanting to be in a Transformers sequel since Age of Extinction. But he wasn't in Age of Extinction. Now he wants back for Transformers 5, and he's been posting these videos, and he addressed some, or rather, he addressed these videos to Michael Bay directly. And Michael Bay reposted those videos, and he responded to them with comments. In the first video, he said, Tyrese really is itching to be back. In the second video, he commented with, I'm thinking. So, what do these comments really mean? Is he really going to put Tyrese back in? And when he says that he's thinking, is he actually thinking about a role that he can write in, or he can have the writers write in, for Transformers 5. The fact is that Transformers 5 has already been written. Is written by Iron Man writers Art Markham and Matt Holloway, as well as Black Hawk Down writer Ken Nolan. But for them to put Tyrese in it, they're going to have to do, they're going to have to sneak him in somehow. Anyways, I'm going to comment on that a little later on in this video. We got to get into the real big, juicy, official information about this film, and that is Transformers 5 now has an official title, and that's from the man himself, Michael Bay. And the title for Transformers 5 is Transformers: The Last Night. There you have it. That is the title for Transformers 5. And this is a very different title from what we're used to. In the previous sequels, we had Star Wars style subtitles for the sequels, such as Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction. And maybe Michael Bay is taking is taking a tip from J.J. Abrams and calling his Transformers sequel The Last Night. Kind of like The Force Awakens. But of course not The Force Awakens. Transformers 5 is The Last Night. Now, The Last Night. We gotta talk about this. What is The Last Night? When were Transformers ever referred to as knights? Well, that would be in Transformers Age of Extinction. In the Knights Temenos, that is a chamber in Lockdown's ship. That's where he kept the knights. And who are the knights? Well, as far as I know, the knights are made up of the Dinobots. Those are the knights. And one of the knights that Lockdown wanted to hunt down and capture is Optimus Prime. And he did capture him for a little bit until he escaped with the help of the other Autobots. And, well, now it's time to find out who is the Last Knight and what is the Last Knight. And, well, I'm thinking that the Last Knight could be a number of things, such as, well, the Last Knight could refer to a Dinobot that we don't know about, or maybe a not Dinobot, but another Transformer that is as strong as a Dinobot or a Prime like Optimus. The last night could also be referring to Optimus Prime. The last night could also refer to an Optimus Prime-like character. Now let's take a look at this photo, or rather this video that was posted by Michael Bay, and it shows the face of Optimus Prime, and then it dissolves into the title of The Last Night. But what's most interesting is about this face of Optimus Prime, because the way it is colored is quite curious. It's very interesting the way he decided to do that. And so we have the red and blues, but they're faded out, and they're on the sides. Red and blue, of course, represents Optimus Prime. Then we have the gray on the face. The gray actually makes up a lot of his face. And what could this mean? Well, last time Optimus Prime was completely gray was in a 1986 Generation 1 film, the animated film, and it represented that Optimus Prime was dead. And he went all grayed out. Sleep mode Optimus Prime, if you will. So that could mean that Optimus Prime really dies. Or, check this out. Look at his eyes. They're purple. And who is purple when we think of Transformers? Well, a lot of Decepticons are purple. But this is Optimus Prime's eyes. And when I think of purple and Optimus Prime, I think of Nemesis Prime. And Nemesis Prime is a concept that has never been explored in the live-action universe. The closest thing we got to an evil Prime is Sentinel Prime in Transformers Dark of the Moon. He was a Prime, but he definitely wasn't the last Knight. The concept of Knights was only explored in Transformers Age of Extinction, and you guys already know, I'm sure you guys know by now, that the Transformers lore in the last 4 films is very, very inconsistent. There's no sense of continuity. The continuity starts actually right now, because Akiva Goldsman, who led the writer's room, has written enough material, they have written enough material as a team to last 10 films, and this is a cinematic universe. So therefore, we're starting to see that continuity. So, Nemesis Prime, Optimus Prime, or a completely new character. Now, if we're talking about The Last Night, is Optimus Prime gonna die? Does this suggest that Optimus Prime is really, really gonna die? We've seen Prime die in many different iterations of Transformers, including in the live-action universe. We saw him die for the first time in Revenge of the Fallen. Then we see him completely get owned by Lockdown in Age of Extinction. He didn't die, but he was close to getting destroyed. So, is Prime going to die once and for all in The Last Night? Or are they going to introduce a Prime-type character which Optimus has to face off against? And is he going to be a character that looks like him, but black and purple? I don't know, but I think that it's possible that Michael Bay might finally kill off Optimus Prime. And if he does, it kind of makes sense because of this continuity, this new continuity in the cinematic universe of Transformers that Akiva Goldsman and his writing team put together. Keep in mind, the next film that comes after Transformers The Last Night is the Bumblebee spin-off film. If Prime is killed off in Transformers The Last Night, then what is going to happen in the next film, Transformers 6? We're going to have a film without Optimus Prime if he's killed off. And if he is killed off, as it suggests in this photo where he's all grayed out in sleep mode, then who's the next one in line? Bumblebee, as we have seen Bumblebee be a leader in Transformers Robots in Disguise, the most recent iteration, animated iteration of Transformers. And then when Transformers 6 comes out, the next year after the Bumblebee spin-off film, that's giving the fans enough time to really, I guess, enough time in the cinematic world to realize that Optimus Prime can come back. Having him come back right away in the next sequel, that just defeats the whole purpose of his death. But having the Bumblebee Adventures and the spin-off film come out in 2018, and then have this journey towards the path of Optimus Prime's resurrection, that makes a lot of sense. I'm just throwing that out there for my little bit of speculation. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Now, that's not all, okay? Something that's very, very exciting to me is the fact that the production starts not only, the filming not only starts next month, but production starts in Cuba next week. They're filming in Cuba. That is insane. No film has filmed there since the 1960s, except for Furious 8. Transformers: The Last Night will be the second film to film in Cuba since the 1960s. Furious 8 will be wrapping up pretty soon, but once Furious 8 is out of there, Transformers: The Last Night will be there to set off more explosive action. So really, really exciting stuff. And you know how Michael Bay loves to shoot in places that has never been shot in before. Well, he's kind of late, but still, it's still happening in Cuba. Now, before I end this episode, I just want to talk about this whole returning of Sergeant Epps, played by Tyrese Gibson. Now, I actually didn't want Tyrese to come back, mainly because Age of Extinction was supposed to be that reboot where they just change everything up, have all new human characters, all new robot characters, and just let it be a sort of somewhat reboot. And it makes a whole lot of sense to me. Transformers 5 is once again their new thing. I'm not going to say it's a reboot, but I'll say that it's their new retelling of this it's not a reboot, okay? It's this kind of like they're starting all over again, but they have a much more well laid out plan, all right? Now, if they bring back Tyrese Gibson, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of what they've been trying to do with Age of Extinction. But if they do bring back Tyrese Gibson and the Epps character, just as Michael Bay could possibly suggest as his response to Tyrese Gibson's videos, then in a way that's kind of a good thing, because it shows you that there is a connection with the previous events that happened in the first 3 films. They don't have to bring back Josh Duhamel. They don't have to bring back the entire Nest team. But Tyrese Gibson is Sergeant Epps is a soldier with a lot of experience and also who's had a lot of encounters with the NBEs, non-biological extraterrestrials. Yeah. The NBEs. So bringing him back is kind of like a callback to those first 3 films. That's their reference to the first 3 films. And it's kind of like a reminder for the fans that, this isn't a reboot. I mean, it never really was, but it was a reboot in the business sense of things, right? But it's just a reminder for the fans that there is a world that exists parallel to what's going on in the Cade Yeager story. There's another world, and if Sergeant Epps is written into the film, it's kind of those 2 worlds colliding together. And you know what? It works. When they do these things for sequels, they work. It's kind of like how Han's character in Tokyo Drift comes back later on in Fast 5, and then continues on with Furious or Fast 6 and 7, and now yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's all connected. So, if they bring them back, that's cool. If they don't, that's also cool. But what I'm most curious about is, of course, who is the Last Knight. Let me know in the comment section below who you think is the Last Knight. Is it another Dinobot? Is it Optimus Prime, which suggests that he's gonna be dead? All right, and dead for good? Or is it going to be Nemesis Prime or something else? Maybe it's going to be Ultra Magnus or Hot Rod, Rodimus Prime. Who do you think it is? Let me know in the comment section below. And would you like to see Sergeant Epps back? Also let me know about that. Anyways, that's all I have for you in this episode. It's a pretty big episode. We got some official news finally. And like I said before, there's going to be more official news as we get closer to shooting day. Alright, anyways, that's all I gotta say in this video. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Like I said, more episodes, so make sure you like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's not very interesting, but it is. If you look at the bigger picture, you can piece together a bit of